It's 8:05 in the morning time. It's Tuesday, October 15, smack dab in the middle of October. And we are Island Tea, and I'm talking about Kay and me.
Yeah, we certainly are. Good morning to the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis. Good morning, Mario, over there in Nevis. Good morning to the regional and international diaspora. Good morning to Jamsta.
Hey.
Good morning, Candy. Good morning, AZ. I'm just going to say good morning to everybody. Miss Anita in St. Thomas, good morning. Skeeter, good morning.
Morning, Chef.
Yeah, Shavridge, Mishi, good morning. Colin, good morning. It's been a while since I said hi. Good morning, Colin. Good morning, Gawain. Good morning, Cleo. How are you and hubby doing this morning? Good morning, good morning, and good morning. And Culture and Miss Henry and Elda and everybody else, good morning.
And good morning to Kenneth. We're still waiting on the pizza.
Jam down, good morning. Oh, boy. Good morning.
And we got weekly dose today. We're going to have breast cancer part 2 with the good doctor, Natalie Osborne. She's going to be joining us. Also, today, Tuesday, at 9:15, we got Chris Freeman. He's going to be talking about the Chevening scholarships. I don't know what that is. You don't know what that is. So we are all going to be paying rapt attention when Chris Freeman shows up at 9:15. So
we should pay attention. Yes, because if you're eligible, maybe you could be the recipient.
Exactly.
Yep. So stay tuned.
Now, on the weekend, it came to my attention, and I didn't really get to it yesterday. It's like, we always grumble about the fact that there are so many things that
to get to
that we never get to. Yep. And Socrates touched on it yesterday on Voices. It was about a discussion that was had on Facebook concerning the St. Kitts Nevis soca. A discussion that was started by a good friend of mine. So I think maybe I will read it. Paul Martin. Paul Martin is and he has every right to speak on these matters because he is an excellent songwriter. He has written songs for New Vibes and others. So he criticized the state of local music in a viral social media post and calls for improvement in quality and marketability. In a candid and thought-provoking social media post, Paul Martin, a well-known voice in the community, sparked a heated discussion about the state of music in St. Kitts and Nevis. Responding to an open letter to DJs published by the St. Kitts Nevis Times on why local DJs don't play more St. Kitts Nevis music, Martin outlined a series of challenges that he believes are holding local artists back from gaining widespread popularity. So, and that's part of the setup. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to read the open letter, and then we're going to get back to Paul. So just trying to do a setup here. So, an open letter to the DJs of St. Kitts and Nevis by Morgan Rivers. I write to you with a sincere question that has been on the minds of many in our community. What is it about our local music that you do not like? Why do you, as the cultural gatekeepers, not promote it as you should, even when playing for St. Kitts and Nevis Nationals abroad or at home? I've noticed something troubling. At events, whether local or overseas, our music is often sidelined. Even when performing for SKN Nationals abroad, it's rare to hear our songs. Instead, foreign music dominates the airwaves. The same happens right here at home during events in St. Kitts and Nevis, where we might hear one or two local songs, but the rest of the playlist is filled with foreign music. I'm not here to pass judgment, but to ask, why is this the case? For your question. Continuing. Is there something about our local music that makes it less desirable to feature, even when you are performing in front of our own people? Please help us understand the reasoning behind why SKN music seems to always be left behind. I would think that DJs who have a direct influence on shaping our musical culture would be proud and eager to promote our local talent. The artists in St. Kitts and Nevis work incredibly hard to produce music that can stand up to any track from Jamaica, Trinidad, or elsewhere. Yet, at both local and international events, it often feels like our music doesn't exist. I'm asking these questions not to criticize, but to understand. What is holding back our music from being played as often as it should? If there are gaps that local artists need to fill, I believe we can work together to improve. But as DJs, you have a unique power to provide the exposure that our artists desperately need to grow. Some may argue that local artists need to do more to promote themselves, but this should be a collective effort. Music is the heartbeat of our culture, and as DJs, you are the bridge between artists and the public. You have the power to showcase our sound and elevate our music to the level it deserves. A note to the Carnival Committee. There should be a rule that on parade days, only St. Kitts music must be played. This would promote your vibrant and diverse music from legends like Elimat to present-day artists. If foreign DJs are performing at our carnival, this is an opportunity to introduce them to our music, which they will understandably come to love and help promote outside of SKN. Imagine every year hearing the same foreign songs from Trinidad while our rich musical heritage from small acts to 14 minors, vibes, masters, and so on, and so many others is pushed aside. Let us make our carnival truly about our music. This is how we celebrate our culture and help it grow. So that's by Morgan Rivers. So, back to Paul now. So, Paul basically responded. One, inferior to quality of local music. Martin argued that in general, local music is not on par with international standards, particularly in genres like soca. He pointed out that many local artists produce music with repetitive themes and weak lyrics, which ultimately limits their appeal to a wider audience. According to Martin, even locals who advocate for more local music may not enjoy hearing it for extended periods due to these shortcomings. 2. Poor recording quality. Another critical issue raised by Martin was the technical quality of local music recordings. He noted that the poor mixing and production often make local tracks sound inferior when played alongside international hits, creating difficulties for DJs who might want to include local music in their sets. And I could tell you that is true. As a DJ, so many times, like, I think the local stuff sounds good by itself, but then if I have to mix it alongside like something from Trinidad also, it sounds like garbage compared to sonically it sounds, honestly. So that is true, and that puts me off. 3. Carnival and party culture. Addressing the role of local music in events like Carnival, Martin emphasized that Carnival has evolved into an international party product. He argued that while local music is important, the diverse audience that attends these events wants a mix of international sounds, not just hours of local tracks. He defended the DJs, stating that they play what the crowd enjoys, which often includes a lot of international hits. 4. Call for improvement and better marketing. Martin concluded his post with a call to action, stressing the need for local artists to improve the quality of both their music and recordings. He also highlighted the importance of better marketing to ensure local music becomes a year-round staple, not just something played during Carnival. Martin's post has ignited widespread discussion among music lovers, artists, and DJs as the community reflects on the challenges facing the local music industry and the steps needed to elevate it to international standards. Discuss. Yeah, so what do you think?
I hear the complaint all the time. I hear the comment all the time that local music isn't pushed. Our local artists should be further. At one point I heard one of our local artists, they basically said he's being kept back by individuals around him. They're not pushing him as far as he can go. But our producers here trained enough. I don't want to ask if they're capable enough because I know at least one of them that studied abroad. One I see, so don't get me.
I'm one, so that makes 2.
Oh, so that's 2. Okay, so I know 2 of you, and I think you gentlemen can do great music. But it's for wasn't something started with the what is it called? Creative economy to make our artists better, to make our productions better, because we like our local carnival music. I call it. To me, we have something that stands out because our bands are in request. People, be it natives of the Federation or other Caribbean islands or bigger countries, there is requests for bands like Small Axe. I saw Collision got a turn at the Miami Carnival. I don't know if it's their
Got a
first.
turd. You make
Yeah.
it sound like charity.
Oh Lord, no! Oh gosh, no! But the talent is going somewhere. But then, as you rightfully say, we need to invest more in our people. We need to have big and better studio. It's an investment because we see. Look, when that guy went to Trinidad and did that carnival song, he didn't do it with Bungie Gallen. What's his name? Nichabi?
Yeah, he actually sang with it's a pity. It's almost like
So
it's almost like the universe is against St. Kitts Nevis Soca from getting anywhere because he went. He was actually asked to join Roy Cape All Stars because Ricardo Drew was eventually gonna go solo, which he did. And may his soul rest in peace.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and he had to come back home.
Oh, and nothing happened since.
Yeah, and then what's his name? The guy who got him into the band died. Subsequently died. Black Stewart.
Oh.
So it's like whenever things line up for us, something goes wrong.
Well, let's hope that's the end of that. Because
So-
look, we see.
Because he was intended to replace Ricardo Drew in Roy. That's no mean feat. Huh?
Okay.
That's a pretty good endorsement of the talent that Black Stewart saw.
Yeah.
Caller, go right ahead.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Hey,
Good
what's
morning.
up?
I just want to give my little 2 cents. I find that the quality of music is getting better over the years. I think it's Nevis music because I could also kind of lump in Anguilla, who has a similar style to us, maybe St. Martin as well. But I think a lot of the big islands used to look down on our style of music, and then only to realize now they're starting to copy our style somewhat.
Well, not even
Music.
copy. Listen, do you know that Bungie Gallen song, the road match from last year? Do you know that someone from St. Thomas did that rhythm? The Hard Fet.
Well, his name is also lumping St. Thomas with us too.
Yeah, St. Thomas.
Our style because what's his name?
A
there?
lot of it came from St. Kitts. Most of those bands have petitions in them and divisions.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of times our music kind of inspired, but they have a more US in St. Thomas. The Virgin Islands have a more US push, so they kind of have a leg up in getting the music out there. The artists are easy to travel to the US and get
that's
out
true.
there and so forth.
That's a very good
Look
point.
at Swanks, even though the VI have their own style, it's similar to ours. I think our beats are a bit faster, our BPMs are faster generally. But a lot of it, the southern islands especially, they look down, used to look down more on our music. But look,
I wouldn't say they look
at-
down.
look at,
I don't even think they hear it that much, to be honest. I don't think they look down on them. I
True.
think that's strong.
one of the things I look forward to, well, I shouldn't say look forward to, what I look out for is Private Ryan and what's his name? He came in the other day. They colored here. I forgot his name. These guys produce, mixes every pre-carnival from Miami and so forth. And when I listen to them, I always check to see if any local music. The last one I had there, I listened to, it was only 2 songs. Grandmaster's Wrong Man and New Vibes Barbie was mixed in with the West Trinidad music. Okay, and then the next point now about the lyrics, everywhere. Yes. Some artists have good years and bad years, or not so good years, I should say, when it comes to lyrics. Lyrics can always improve. It doesn't matter who the artist is. And yes, our local artists can improve a bit more on the lyrics. The next thing that I have a small problem with is sampling in our local music. When you're playing live, it's fine, but I don't see it necessary for you to put it on your albums. Especially when I say sample, I don't necessarily mean singing over a lyric from another song. I mean sampling another song and mixing it in their music. And I realize it's been getting more and more prevalent throughout the years. no, me gonna call a name of the bands them who like to do it. But I'm sure, especially Jamsta, hear it often
So
enough.
why are you afraid to call names? It's an open secret.
Me gonna- me gonna walk around.
we have this weird culture in this place with things that everybody knows. It's like the sky is blue, and people are afraid to say the sky is blue. Like they say,
but,
people say,
a
"Oh,
lot of
such and
them,
such is
you know,
blue."
and I said it's coming more and more
So weird.
prevalent, and I suspect that they don't get the rights to it to sample a lot of these, pieces of songs and so forth. And I suspect that might be one of the drawbacks, because for you to get the local music up into a lot of these stores, they have AI to listen to the music. And if the music has copyright pieces in there, it's not going to pass to be uploaded, because it could get strikes for copyright claim. And the artist already is not making any real money from their music to be sued from some of these artists. So that's the next thing. We need to also define our style, our subgenre of soca, because when you look at Dominica, they have a style that's coming through in their boyo, and it's like the boyo, and there's a subgenre of boyo, which typically don't play on the radio, and I'm sure Jamson know what I mean. A lot of people can't. A lot of times, you hear it in the people's cars and so forth, and at fests and so forth, but they're not clean enough for airplay. But they're still making a big hit. Look, we had what's his name? I can't remember his name. The guy there who became popular for singing a particular song. I don't want to repeat it on the ear. With Put Your Hand and so forth, so forth. And it made him very popular. A lot of people might not like the lyrics, but when you travel international, other people, oh, yeah, bring this artist, and he perform the same vocalist, and it's getting more and more popular. I'm not saying that we should go that route, even though a lot of the artists here and bands here are somewhat going to the route, because sometimes you realize a lot of the music, the local music, can't even play on children carnival. And that's the next thing. That also comes under the category of the lyrics.
Yeah,
so I don't have the need to put an A and beside the A, is for more international airplay, a bit more.
I think just all they have to do is just have more diverse songwriting. And this is the weird thing about, I think, our music creative culture. It's people think they're good at everything. People think they know everything. People think they're the best. They think they're the best songwriter. They're the best arrangers, and they don't understand it. The biggest artists always turn. The biggest artists, as you know, turn to songs from other people. Mm-hmm. Michael Jackson sang a song written by R. Kelly. You Are Not Alone. That's an R. Kelly song. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's funny? Last night, I came across a video, might have been Instagram or Facebook, whatever. Now I forgot the guy's name. The guy who wrote many of Elvis Presley's hits. Black guy.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's been credited. Yeah, he's been credited with being one of the foundation pioneers of rock music as well. Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know what you mean.
His name.
Yeah.
The black guy. But and it just goes to show you that you don't have to.
But the point I'm making is I've said it many times over the last 10 years. I find that the soca songwriting, especially from Trinidad and Barbados, it's much diversified. I mean, the lyrical quality has improved so much, and I can't say the same for the stuff that's coming out of St. Kitts Nevis. It's mostly about bend over and skin out.
Well, it used to be a lot more, because a couple of years ago, especially the early days of music festival, every Trinidad artist would come, jump and wave your rag, every rag. And I would stand there and say, wait, it's the same
Nah, thing. It's different now. And then Trust me.
When we, a lot of our local bands used to try and copy this style, but it never used to get anywhere. But the same the same bass lyrics, the same, call for action and so forth. But anyway, it's a whole. When it comes to it, it comes down to our size. Unless we have something that's really hitting.
Well,
Another
challenge
example
I
before
challenge
go.
your size. I challenge your size thing. But I'll come back to that. Go ahead.
Look at Stickle and look at Akai and who they produced for and the song that came out a few years ago. And look how far that reached.
Yeah.
With Adamo.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad you brought up Adamo. That's exactly, he was the exact example I was going to use to push back about against being small. Let me give you an example. Why is it Adam O and you could say Pumpa, they just came in the last show or rain. Okay, Pumpa's been around a while, that band he used to be in St. Croix. But Pumpa is a Kititian. Pumpa is on all these rhythms throughout the Caribbean, Grenada, St. Vincent, Trinidad, Barbados. Adamo is doing songs with all these big Trinidad artists. He's on all these rhythms. What's going on with our musicians? I think part of the problem is, and I have actually spoken to a local band leader about this. I told him, you guys need to get management from somewhere else. You need to find a manager from Trinidad or Antigua or someplace. I went as far as
a management company. You can have the local manager still, but also try to register with an international management company.
There's a very short list of people, local management. I would think could get us anywhere. To be honest, there is just something in the St. Kitts mentality where we're just doing stuff and we get nowhere, because Adamo, I see it all the time, because Adamo's always, I get music from these guys all the time. I'm like, how come he's always on these big rhythms? And how come he's doing songs with all these big artists? Same thing with Pumpa. What happened to our people?
Anyway, Jamsa, I have to go now. I'll probably try and call back.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Paul said, and plus what I said just now. Okay, you were saying?
No, I'm looking at something here where someone is weighing in, and they said at the Swank Lounge, DJ Taro said local artists don't upload their music. So don't upload their music to international music sites. So when he goes abroad and fans ask where can they get the music, he can't advise them where to look. So he has encouraged, and I will encourage local producers to upload their music to those sites, Spotify, etc., etc.
That's DJ Terror, or somebody said DJ Terror said that?
So that's what DJ Terror said. No, I don't have DJ Terror.
Oh, okay.
I don't have DJ Terror.
Because, that's part of the problem, which is why I said a lot of these bands, if they're serious, and there's one particular band I think has the potential to make it big outside, and the only thing, I'm sorry, the only way that's going to happen has to be management from somewhere else. I honestly don't think the mindset here is wrong, because look at that. You can't find the music anywhere to buy it.
Yeah.
That says a lot. That says a lot about us.
Yeah, because as you said, he goes abroad. He tries his best to play the music, but then guess what? When he's done, we get the music?
They can't buy it anywhere.
I don't know where to tell you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and CDs are becoming obsolete. So
well, actually, not really. Just opposite around here, because we always think we know better. CDs are still selling.
Okay.
In fact, CDs went up. The sales of CDs went up this year. I think 1 point. I think it was 2%. They said.
So why aren't CDs sold, or are CDs sold over here? I don't know.
Yeah, because we always think we know.
Okay. So
like
we do have a store here where we can
here, but CDs are still selling.
Oh. Okay.
I buy CDs all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, they're still being made.
Because even us, if we want a song, don't we ourselves go to Spotify and get it?
Well, I don't like the stuff that I don't get. I would either buy the CD or buy a download.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of times, like if it's an artist I really like, even when I get a lot of the albums free, but I still go and buy the CD because I want, it's the quality is even better. Probably, not probably. It is. But yeah. And you can't. I mean, like for example, I went off to do music production and so on, and You can't tell these people anything. They think they know everything.
But then how will we get better? I say we, because we're a federation.
They think they know everything.
But you have to
I remember
listen
when I came
somebody.
back, somebody said, "Oh, why don't you go and mix for so and so, and why don't you do?" I was like, "Nah, they think they know everything. I can't tell them anything."
Well, okay, so they know everything. I roll my eyes because if you don't help them have you tried and they've declined? Because we have to help each other.
Well, I tell them things all the time and they don't listen.
Oh boy.
For example, I was telling them years before it started happening.
Mm-hmm.
I said, why doesn't somebody do a rhythm and every the lead singer from each band do something on the same rhythm? I said, that would be nice. And that's happening everywhere else except St. Kitts.
So
it's even happened in Nevis.
Oh, wow. So
and that happened
this
after
is a stubborn culture over here. Because
Just
I remember you saying something
strange.
earlier in the month, or maybe it was last month, when you were talking about the Calypsonians, and you said, don't go to just one person. Spread out the work so everybody has a different sound.
St. Kitts is the only place that treasures and cherishes and pedestalizes conformity and sameness. I do not understand it. It's just weird to me. Sorry.
Okay.
Thank God the good doctor is here to give me some
relief.
Yes. Okay, we got weekly dose coming up next.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
Have you heard the exciting news from Makana Ferry Service? Here goes! We've reinstated subsidized rates for 2024. So now you can travel to Sabre, Statia with a reduced return rate, and we introduce special same-day rates. Wait! There's more! You've asked for day trip to St. Martin? Well, now it's a reality! Yes, on the weekends. Also, with the introductory special same-day rates, giving you savings and affordable transportation options, where you save every time. And hear this, our new schedule now includes Anguilla. Go to www.makanaferryservice.com or call our local agents. Ship it for less at 869-466-1151 extension 2 or 662-3961. You can email makana@shipitforless.com. So now you know. Enjoy the sun, sand, and unforgettable celebrations this summer with Makana Ferry Service and the gift of connection.
Well, it's time for Weekly Dose. It's 8:34 and we've got the good Dr. Natalie Osborne on deck. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Trying our best. Well, me trying my best to be my best. What about you?
I'm doing good. Well, just like you, I'm doing my best. Every day you get up, you keep serving, you keep working, and you want to do your best always.
Indeed.
And that's all you could ask for.
Indeed. So today is part 2 of our breast cancer discussion for the month of October. As I told the doctor, I tried to bring in a little pink. I'm pink. I see she has on different shades of pink. So we're pinking it for breast cancer. So, Doc, we're going to start off right away. What is breast cancer?
Well,
Oh,
Do you have
okay.
the correct, do you have the correct discussion? Is
Yeah.
it the part 2? Just making sure. Okay, all right. No, the different types.
Okay, okay.
So okay, let's get started, everybody. Thanks always for
Okay.
listening. So last week we spoke about what breast cancer was, the abnormal cell growth in the breast that multiply and do not die. Then these cells can break off from the point of origin, either in the ducts or in the lobules. We say that they originate there and then they spread outwards. They can be local, then they can spread to the regional, like the armpit, and if not treated, it then spreads to distal organs. So that is what breast cancer is. We spoke about the key factors about breast cancer. You know what some of them are. We realize that breast cancer from since 2022 thereabout is the most common cancer worldwide, okay? Having over 670,000 deaths of breast cancer, knowing that it affects women mostly because of the estrogen. We know that it affects women as we get older, especially above the age of 40. But we know in the black race that it's very common earlier and tend to be much more aggressive type of breast cancer. We spoke about some of our local data here on in the Federation of St. Kitts, seeing that because I went back and I looked, because we presented 5 years last week, and then I went back and looked at the previous 5 years, and I see that it is trending upwards. So we've seen a trend in the diagnosis of breast cancer as well, and that is similar to international standards. There have been an increase in breast cancer being diagnosed, and much earlier as well in the younger age group, like the early 40s or before the individual become 40. We spoke about the risk factors. The main two risk factors are just being a female, which we kind of control, and our age as we advance in age. We spoke about the risk factors that we can modify or control, and those that we have absolutely no control about. So that is just bringing us up to date at what we spoke about in our first discussion. So that's our recap. So we also spoke about the symptoms of having a lump in the breast, the changes in the skin around the breast, the dimpling, the inversion of the nipple. We spoke about having a bloody nipple discharge that can be associated with breast cancer. If you have a lump in the armpit, that can be associated with breast cancer that is spreading locally and stuff. So this is where we are today. So I hope you would have listened last week, so we're continuing from then.
Yeah. So what are the different types of breast cancer?
So healthcare providers determine cancer types and their subtypes, and that is to tailor it for your treatment. So that is why it is important. And so it helps to make sure that you have the best treatment with the least side effects, okay? So the common types of breast cancer, we talk about the cancer can begin in the ducts or in the lobules. So it can be in situ, meaning that it is contained within the ducts. So that is called ductal carcinoma in situ. So it means that it is limited in the site in the ducts. It hasn't spread beyond the basement membrane. When that spreads beyond the basement membrane, there is a layer there, tissue, that it breaks through. Just think about a tube. It is inside the tube, but it breaks outside the wall of the tube. So that is going beyond the basement membrane. Then it becomes invasive or infiltrating, so it can spread to the local tissue. So the breast cancer can be invasive or it can be in situ. So it starts like that. So you have ductal carcinoma in situ. Then you have ductal carcinoma invasive, or invasive ductal carcinoma, or infiltrative. You're going to see those two words being exchanged or interusable, invasive and infiltrating. And you also have a lobular carcinoma where it starts in the lobules. Remember, we discussed that the lobules are like the sacs that produce the milk. So it can start there too, and then it can become invasive. So you have invasive lobular carcinoma. So those are those are some of the types. You've got other less common types, and we're going to discuss that. Some of you persons who are quite aware and involved with breast cancer, you would have heard of the triple negative breast cancer. That means there's specific hormones that the breast cancer feed on, the hormones, the estrogen and the progesterone, and that can affect what type of treatment or if it responds to the treatment. So if you have no presence of estrogen receptors, and we're going to talk exactly what these receptors are, and you have absence of the progesterone receptors, and there's another protein that is called the HER2 protein, if all of those are negative, that is the triple negative that we speak about. It may be a little complex, but triple negative breast cancer, it is always much more difficult to treat because it means it's not going to respond to the treatment that it can be used commonly if it is positive. Okay? Because you've got treatment well established to work against that is positive, to block those hormones. But if it doesn't have those hormones, it is negative and thus much more difficult to treat. There's another type of breast cancer, and I want our audience to follow on this one because we've been seeing this. It is called an inflammatory breast cancer. What does that mean? It appears like an abscess of the breast. The entire breast becomes swollen, and it tends to progress quite rapidly as well too. And some persons may initially think that it is an abscess of the breast. So you may go to your doctor and say, Doc, my breast is paining me, it's hurting me, it's looking red, inflamed, and it will have all of the characteristics of having an abscess. But here's the thing, it's not common for a woman who is not lactating or not breastfeeding to have an abscess. Think about it. Most of the time when a woman presents with an abscess is because her breast becomes engorged, the milk is not draining properly, and then that becomes infected secondarily. If you see a woman in her 50s who's not lactating presents with this abnormal enlargement of the breast, and you've treated it. Sometimes you see your physician and they treat it with antibiotics. 2 weeks going, 3 weeks going, and it's not resolving. You have to make sure know that this is something much more. So this is a rare form of breast cancer. It's called inflammatory breast cancer, and it has similarities or appearance of an abscess where the breast becomes enlarged, tender. You have all the dimpling appearance and the podorange or orange-like peel. There's also Paget's disease of the breast. We mentioned that last week, where you have that scaly kind of eczematous, like you have a rash on the nipple and the areola, which is the surrounding dark tissue around the nipple. And that is an indicator oftentimes that there's an underlying infiltrating ductal carcinoma, and it is spread to the tissue there. I don't want to make it complex. So you're going to see that rash-like peeling of the nipple. That is not normal. If you go and see your physician, some persons would start by treating it with something hydrocortisone, thinking if it's just a eczema on the breast, and so, but you realize over time it has not resolved. That tissue need to be biopsied to ensure that it's not underlying breast cancer. So these are some of the things I wanted to keep in mind. I know it's a lot for our audience, but it's important to kind of understand what we're dealing with.
So what are these subtypes of breast cancer?
Yes, so not only we have these main types that we talk about that are commonly seen, there are even subtypes, and that goes into much more detail. So I don't know if it is necessary for our audience to know all of these details, but there are some persons out there who like to know. So there is the healthcare provider would classify breast cancer subtype based on these receptors. Let me see how simple I could break it down. Think about the cell as a round little ball, and on top of the cell there are little spikes, receptors those are. So every cell and most living structure, they have receptors to receive different hormones, different chemicals that is in the body so that it can get into the cell and the cell can function. So on top of these cells, you have the receptors. Either they're going to be estrogen receptors, progesterone receptors, and then they're going to come, the hormone is going to come and attach, okay? So that is important. So your cell can express, it can be estrogen positive, it can be estrogen negative if those receptors are not there. It could be progesterone positive or progesterone negative. And we know that progesterone and estrogen helps the cancer cells to grow. And the third one is going to be the HER2, which is a hormone epithelial growth receptor 2. It's a specific protein. And that protein can be overexpressed or negative. So that's where you get the triple negative one. So if you don't have the estrogen receptor, that's negative. You don't have the progesterone receptors, that is negative. And you don't have overexpression of this HER2 protein that makes it negative. So if you have that triple negative, that's a subtype that we speak about all the time. And that one is very important because that is being identified in up to 20% of breast cancers, Jamsta. And why is it important? It is seen often in younger individuals, and it is seen often in our race, a black race, and it makes it much more complex in terms of treatment.
To the type of cancer, this is a question that I wanted to ask. I heard an apocryphal story about how Elvis Presley had hit one of his girlfriends with a pool stick, right? Across her breast, and she got breast cancer. Is it possible to get breast cancer?
I like that. I like that question. And I wish I'd bring this in here. And we're going to talk about it next week. Some of the myths about breast cancer. It's important to know that. No, I'll tell you something. And let's see if I could break it down and make it simple. Sometimes if you run into a wall and you hit your somewhere, it draws your attention to that area, and then you notice, oh, I have a mole there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we've had individuals say, Doc, I hit my breast and then I see that there's a lump there. It's not the hitting of the breast typical. It draws your attention to the breast and then you find the lump. And then that lump may become cancerous. So trauma to the breast can give you a response and an inflammatory response, but it doesn't lead to cancer. So trauma to the breast will not lead to a cancer. So that would be one of the myths. Like people talk about using underwire bra, using the microwave, and we could discuss some of the myths. Using deodorant as same, but those are myths. Okay, so that is not any associated factor of breast cancer. And remember, we also said we have the risk factors. We discussed those last week of your age, of your race, of the gender, of having exposure to radiation. These are factors that can increase. But remember, we also said that most breast cancers are what? Sporadic. You may not have ever had any of these common risk factors, and you're the first in your family.
Yeah. So how is breast cancer diagnosed?
So breast cancer diagnosis is very important to understand, because that is the crux of it now, Jamsta. Because we need to make sure that and encourage any woman, if anything appears abnormal in her breast, she needs to get it checked out. Yeah. So there's several things we can do. Ultimately, you want to see examine the breast. You see her first. You say you have a lump. The size of the lump approximately. You described it, how it feels can give you some clues, Kortensia. If that lump is rock hard, it generally points to something more suspicious, to malignant. If it's soft and spongy, it points typically more to something benign. If you could feel it and it moves quite easily, it typically points to something more benign. If it is fixed there, it typically would suggest that it is hard and it fixed to the muscle underneath, or it fixed to the skin, it usually points to something more malignant. So there are characteristics that the physician, after years of experience, would be able to identify. Then you can go on to do some imaging studies, like an ultrasound, Jamsta. Especially if the lump is cystic, you want to look at the characteristic of that lump. And if the young lady is below the age of 40, your first step would typically to be an ultrasound. Okay. You can also get your mammogram, which is important in screening these patients, and we can't afford to forget our screening mammographies, because that is going to identify any changes that are seen early in breast cancer. And the earlier you diagnose your breast cancer, it is always best. So with your mammogram, you're seeing those little calcification or those whitey spots that your radiologist would be able to say, oh, are these suspicious for something malignant? And then you can study the patient further. You want to do things like you have even MRIs. We use a breast MRI, but especially, not here typically, but in first world countries that have access to it, they use it quite often for individuals who are high risk, who have genetic risk factors of having breast cancer. We spoke about the BRCA1 and 2. Those are the most common genetic genes that leads to breast cancer. You want to get a biopsy, no matter what you do. If you do not have tissue to send to your pathologist, to identify and confirm it is breast cancer. You cannot call it breast cancer, even if you're suspicious of it. And so there are different things that you can do genetic testing. So if you have a person who have a high family risk. I think we mentioned Angelina Jolie last year, a well-known individual. She had that genetic risk factor. Her mother had it as well too. And so she did that genetic testing. Most persons are not going to do genetic testing because most breast cancers do not have genetic risk factors. It's about 10% of cases where you see, or less, where you see the BRCA1 and 2 genes. So I don't want our community to get riled up or excited about, I have to get genetic testing. Most persons would not need it, and in not all cases it is indicated.
So mammograms are X-rays, correct?
Yes, mammograms are X-rays of the breast. Thanks for making sure that it's clear. So mammogram, it's a test you go to your radiologist. They'll expose the breast, put it there on a machine. It kind of flatten it out. And just for a couple of minutes, there's a little discomfort, but they want to make sure they get clear images of the breast to see if there are any underlying changes. So we always encourage women to get their screening mammography at least once every year from the age of 40.
So let's go through the stages of breast cancer.
So the stages of breast cancer, it is important because it helps in the planning of your treatment, Jamsta. You got to know what stage you're dealing with and how you're going to go about treating it. It also matters because it could speak to your prognosis as well too. Okay, so staging breast cancer, it depends on the size of the tumor. You want to keep that in mind, the location, and whether it has spread to other areas of the body. So let's start from stage 0. That is when the cancer is just within the site of origin, in situ. Remember we mentioned that? The cancer is in situ. And the most extreme now would be stage 4, where it has spread to different organs. So I want the audience to keep those two extreme, and then you can fill in the slots. So then you have stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So in stage 1, the tumor is a little bit bigger. Then you start to look at the size of the tumor. If it's greater than 2 centimeters, if it's less than 2 centimeters, it's spread to nearby tissue. So typically it's less than 2 centimeters. Then stage 2, you're looking at the size of it between 2 to 5, and whether you have, it's bigger than 5 and you don't have any lymph nodes, is less than. So I don't want it to be complicated. But 3 now, you have lymph nodes associated with it. Keep those in mind. 3, the most common location having positive lymph nodes is where? Under the armpit. So you think about that. So stage 0, it is very, very small, still very localized. 1, it's a little bit bigger. 2, it gets a little bit bigger. 3, now it spreads to the armpit, where you have these enlarged nodes, and these nodes are positive with cancer cells in them. And 4, it has spread throughout the body. It can either go to your liver, your lung, your brain, or your bone. Those are the most common metastatic areas, or the region that it spreads to. Okay? So keep in mind stage 0, very, very small. Stage 4. You don't want to diagnose the breast cancer in stage 4. That means that it's pretty advanced. There's almost nothing to do. It cannot be cured at that point. What you would do at that point, try to see if you could extend the life of the individual with some form of what we call palliative treatment, or treatment just to make the person as comfortable as you can.
So you just spoke about treatment.
Surgery is the primary start. You need to get rid of the cancer cells, Jamsta. If you have a tumor there, you first start, because if that tumor is left, all it's going to do is continue to grow and spread. All right? So, but there are different ways. Okay. You have a tumor and it's very early. That is good. You can do treatment, just remove that lump, do a lumpectomy, or just remove that tumor there. And the lady would save her breast. That is more of a conservative management. Then you can add things like chemotherapy or radiation therapy as needed, okay? If the tumor is much bigger, you can then do a mastectomy. What does a mastectomy mean? It means removing the entire breast, Jamsta, and removing some of the lymph nodes under the armpit. So that's a very big surgery, okay? Some women choose to have that because it means that you don't have to keep checks on that same breast, because then once you've saved the breast, you have to keep on it because a recurrence can occur. So some persons may say, okay, doc, I know I have this breast cancer. I prefer to take off the entire breast, though you may offer me a chance of having conservative treatment. Also, too, we've got to understand socioeconomics play an important part, Jamsta, because if you're going to save the breast in these instances, you're going to need further treatment like radiation, which we do not offer here locally. You're going to need chemotherapy. You're going to need other hormonal or targeted therapy treatment, and those can run you into the thousands. Persons, if they have limited resource, they may opt for just doing the mastectomy, which then may not require any radiation and some of the other added treatment. So you want to keep that in mind. Oftentimes in first world countries, if you do the mastectomy, you can go right ahead and have the reconstruction. We do not offer that here. We would not be able to offer that service. So you then have to do the mastectomy and then later on go to a center where you can have reconstruction if that is important to you.
Let me
And
ask
it's
you-
important.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead,
Just a
Professor.
quick side question. Something occurred to me. If you discovered cancer at stage 0, stage 1, or even
Two.
stage 2, usually that is discovered when somebody just comes to do a routine examination.
Yes, that's a good thought.
Because I'm thinking
Yeah, so
there
that's where
there
you're
would be nothing
screening.
for you to. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it. Like especially in a stage 0 or early stage 1, you're not feeling anything. You may not feel, but that is where your mammography comes in. Go in and do your mammogram, so the doctor, your radiologist, can identify the early changes in the tissue there. Okay, there's specific things you're looking for. And then you can get it biopsied in an early stage, even before you have a lump. So you want to capture that when it is inside you, or it hasn't spread that widely, because that speaks to your 5-year survival rate.
So I guess that means it's important to have mammograms even when you have no reason necessarily
But
to do
Jamsa,
so. As in, well, you're
yeah,
not feeling anything.
I like that you're catching on
Yeah.
now, Jamsa, because that's why we emphasize our screening mammograms. You want to get your yearly screening mammograms from the age of 40, because if there is some changes there, your physician can identify it very early and address it. That is the whole goal. We've got certain diseases we can screen for, and we need to emphasize the screening process. Like we've spoken about colon cancer. That's why we say get your colonoscopy. If as a female, we emphasize having your pap smear, because that could identify early changes, and then it can be treated. So that exactly speaks to the heart of why we're here, encouraging every lady to have her mammograms done so that we could identify the changes.
So you were going through the treatments, and you mentioned some of the ones that weren't available here. So chemotherapy, is that something we do here?
Yes, we have chemotherapy quite well here. Remember, we had to work hard. Our chemotherapy department is still pretty young. It's about 2016 or so, but we've made some headway. So we're able to do chemotherapy between 2016 and 2017.
So
we
most
were
people
happy.
would travel overseas for that?
No, most people now get your chemotherapy.
No, I mean before then.
Before,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
you had to travel overseas for that. We do not have a radiation center here where we can do radiation
Just yet.
therapy. Yeah, not as yet, because we're always gonna keep making stride. So there are other type of hormonal treatment. You call them immunotherapy, fancy words like that, targeted therapy. So there are lots of treatment on the market. Everything is going to come down to your access. Persons who have access to these, and access comes to what? Sadly, financing. Yeah, having good health insurance so that you can access some of the best treatment.
But does it help if you maybe change your diet along with the treatment? Like, for example, let's say maybe you're someone who ate KFC 5 days a week or whatever, or, just by way of example.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you start eating more vegetables,
Yeah,
exercising.
yeah.
Does that help?
We're going to speak about that as well, too, Jamsa, and I like how you're anticipating our discussion, and that is how the audience is thinking as well. But once you have the diagnosis, I want to be clear on this, because in this year, I can tell you, I can think of 3 patients who I diagnosed with the disease and who refused to have any treatment. Well, they refuse to follow the normal traditional medical treatment. One of the young ladies said to me, Doc, I've changed my diet. Once the disease is there, diet is not going to change it. We talk about overall wellness and health and preventative methods. That does help somewhat because you keep yourself healthy, you eat well, but the disease, remember we say it's sporadic. There is no specific thing we can point and say caused it. And so once you have the disease there, the diet itself helps, but it doesn't change the fact that you have the disease unless you have treatment. So the end goal is to ensure that our citizens come in and get checked out and get these things assessed before, because persons have refused, and then later when the disease is now at stage 4, they come and they say, Doc, help me, let's do some treatment now. Persons are seeking out there to do this herbal or traditional medicine, and I've spoken of stories where I remember a young lady, I never forgot her. She was living in Nevis and she went and did the herbal thing and she was encouraged to do it and she took the pills. But once the disease was advanced, the herbal doctor sent her back to the traditional medical practitioner. And then we know that at this stage now there's nothing we can do.
You can do. So let us talk about the myths, because you spoke about that earlier. So what are the myths of breast cancer?
So yes, breast cancer is contagious, Jamsta. People are really thinking these things out there.
Some of these myths are wild, man.
Yeah, they can be wild, but it's not so. If your best friend has breast cancer, being with her doesn't make you get breast cancer.
Exactly.
The on-the-wire bra, Jamsta, antiperspirant, so you use your deodorant, drinking coffee. This one is important. Only women with a family history is at risk. We said no. Most of it, you're going to be the first in your family. It's going to be sporadic. Pesticides and lawn chemical, there's no evidence of that. An injury to the breast. Jamsa, you brought that up. You
pool
told the
stick.
story
Yeah, I noticed.
about
Yeah.
so an injury to the breast. No, it can cause trauma to the breast and cause a hematoma and stuff, but it will not cause breast cancer.
Yeah.
Breastfeeding is actually beneficial.
Yeah.
It's actually
You
beneficial.
mentioned that last discussion.
Yes, and small-breasted women cannot get breast cancer. Some people really think that, oh, my breast is small, I have less risk. We know that breast cancer starts in the ducts or in the lobules. We also said that every woman has at least 15 to 20 ductal lobular units. That has nothing to do with the size of the breast. We also said the size of the breast was determined by the what? I challenged you last week, by the... What makes the breast different sizes? The fat in the breast. Remember the fat?
I'm
Yeah, the
trying to
fat.
remember
Yes,
what it
yes, the fat in the breast.
Yes.
And we
Fail her.
no, she's not failing.
I'm
She's
there
doing
thinking,
great.
I know it, but I don't want to say the wrong thing.
So women with lumpy breasts are at higher risk. Women who we've heard of this fibrocystic changes. No, you're not at a greater risk. Some people naturally have that lumpy breast when you feel that. No, so you're not at higher risk. And all breast lumps are cancerous. Jamster, all breast lumps are cancerous, true or false?
False.
Most breast lumps are non-cancerous. Okay, so you've got other things and other type of lumps in the breast that we can talk about another time, where you have a cyst in the breast, where you have something like a fibroadenoma, okay, where you have like a lipoma, different things in the breast that are not cancerous. And microwaving plastic containers and wraps, that will not give you breast cancer.
No time.
Go
But
ahead.
plastics some plastics are known to be estrogen mimics. So
No,
wouldn't
well,
that-
that's not correct in thinking that it's not going to cause you breast cancer. That's why we want to dispel these myths, you know. Remember, we went through all of the risk factors, Jamster. Stay focused on the science.
Okay.
Do not get carried away because we're dispelling the myths. So microwaving plastics, and good people do not get breast cancer. So you go to church every Sunday or every Saturday and you'll not get breast cancer. That's not so at all.
Well,
Anyone
that-
can have breast
well,
cancer.
that means if that one is true, that means my present company would be exempted.
Oh, boy.
That's good.
All right, let's move on.
Let's talk about the survival rate for breast cancer.
So that is important. So it's based on several factors, like whether the cancer is invasive or non-invasive. Remember, invasive means that it has spread beyond where it originated from. Yep. Non-invasive is still localized or inside you there. It's right inside the place of origin. So the National Cancer Institute said overall 91% of persons with breast cancer were alive 5 years after diagnosis. That's good. So the survival rate is determined by the stages. If it is localized, it has a spread outside your breast. If it is regional, it has spread to your lymph nodes that's under your armpit. If it is distant, it has spread to your liver, your lung, your bone, or your brain, bone, liver, lungs. Those four areas. So if it is a localized breast cancer, your 5-year survival, Jamsta, is 99%. It drops off if it becomes regional. So the regional means it's under the armpit. So that's 86% survival rate after 5 years. And distant, 30% after 5 years. So you see how it drops off significantly based on how early. So, Jamsta, your question was very poignant and important to revisit it. Your mammogram is important because that's going to determine if there are any changes very early and identify the cancer in its earliest stage.
Okay. So how can I lower my risk?
Okay, so Jamsta, you wanted to talk about this. But I'm going to tell you this, and although it's going to break your heart a little bit, there's no sure way to reduce breast cancer risk. But the American Cancer Society has a following advice. So there's no sure risk. Remember, we said all these are risk factors you may or may not have. So you want to get and stay at a healthy weight. So this weight that is right for you, you want to exercise, get at that healthy weight, manage your weight. Eat a healthy diet, Jamsta. So some studies show that diet, including your fruits, your vegetables, calcium-rich foods, may reduce your risk of breast cancer. Avoid red meat, avoid processed meats, and you want to avoid alcohol, Jamsta. We want to say this
Here
again.
we go.
Avoid alcohol. Exercise. You want to exercise. Studies show that regular physical activities lower your risk of breast cancer. All right? So the American Medical Associate recommends that women limit alcohol to at least 1 drink per day because that can increase your risk. 1 drink a day. If you're going to have a glass of wine, that's 1 a day. Don't go and have 2 and 3 and 4 because the more you drink, it can increase your thing. Yep. And get screened. We can't overemphasize that. This is the thing that we can control. One of the things we can control. Yep. Get your screening mammograms to detect tumors that are too early to be palpated. Do regular self-examination. We recommend examining your breasts at least a week if you're having your menstrual cycle still after that has gone. If you don't see your menstrual cycle because you're already in menopause, you choose a particular time of the month and you examine your breasts. Be familiar with your breasts so if there are any changes, okay? And if you have any strong family history, some of the recommendations made to get genetic testing so you can think. Some persons even went as far as after they've been tested positive, they went and have a double mastectomy. We spoke about Angelina Jolie. Yep. Those are ways of decreasing your risk. But get your screening, keep healthy, exercise as much as you can, have a healthy diet. Those are things that you can do to decrease your risk, but you have to be able to get your screening mammographies. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing women in their 60s still saying they've never had a mammogram. And they're saying, oh, I hear that it hurts. It's a little bit of discomfort, but that discomfort is about what, 5 minutes? Instead of having the discomfort of knowing that you're diagnosed with the cancer, knowing that you have to have aggressive treatment. Which is it? Okay, so you can have 10, 15 minutes of discomfort, but you're safe. Yeah. So we've got to encourage our women. This is the month that we emphasize breast cancer, but it doesn't mean that breast cancer doesn't happen in November, in July, so all throughout the year. So if you have never had a screening mammography, this is the time you want to start and get your baseline, because your physician can then use that previous mammogram to compare with the ones as it goes progressively throughout the years and then make comparison with the changes that are taking place in your breast.
And the fact that we have persons that get cancer at a lower age, like in their 20s, I'm sure it's at 40, you should start getting a mammogram.
You can
That's
also
correct?
remember, yes,
Okay.
correct. You can also, because women in a younger age group have denser breasts, it's harder to identify the changes that you're looking from the mammogram.
Okay.
That's why it is recommended after 40. After 40, the density in your breast starts to change and it's more fat. Okay. And so it's easier to separate the different type of the changes that you're looking for. The calcification, because the calcification is going to look white. But if your breast is dense, all of it's going to look white. So it's harder to identify.
Okay,
So in the
understood.
younger age group, we want to encourage the ultrasounds. If you have a family history of breast cancer, strong family history, we then can recommend starting your mammographies or your mammograms at age 35. Okay, so you can start younger. Are you clear on that, Jamsta?
Yeah, absolutely. I did notice that. I didn't realize there were actually preventive drugs you could take to lower your risk. What do those drugs do exactly?
Well, some of these things like tamoxifen and stuff, in patients who are older, you can recommend some of these drugs, okay?
Okay.
Remember, these drugs, they're anti-estrogenic drugs, most of them. Remember, we said that the cancer feeds on estrogen, so you want to block that estrogen.
Okay.
Yes, so that's where those drugs can come into place, all right?
Did I hear somewhere that sometimes birth control pills can actually help with reducing the risk?
Well,
Or that's not something we want to be...
no, actually, they're saying there are certain types of birth control, especially can increase because they have estrogen in it. So you want the breast cancer, the contraceptive drug with a balance of estrogen and progesterone to protect you. So having the contraceptive drugs not going to protect you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so Doc, give you the last 30 seconds to wrap up.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of material we bring here, trying to inform and to educate the community. I hope people are appreciating these discussions that we bring here.
Sure they are.
And it's important. My disclaimer, this is not for you to stay home and say, Dr. Osborne said on the radio. This is to inform you and to educate you and to encourage you to see your physician. So this is not a disclaimer. And I also want to make sure that you don't think, oh, Dr. Osborne said that, so this is my diagnosis. No, it's not. I am trying to encourage you to go and see your physician. So I am not diagnosing you on the radio, because some persons have taken up their phone. Oh, she said this, so this is actually what it is in different topics. No.
Dr. Google?
Yes, so let's not do that. It is
Go
to
to the
alert
doctor.
you and
said
to
Dr.
educate
Google?
you. Yeah, and so then it gets you into your physician's office. That's what we want. The goal is to get you into your physician's office.
Sure is.
Have a great day, everyone. It's
Doc,
always a pleasure to be
Always a
with you.
pleasure. Thank you as usual. Very informative, as you said. I'm sure the listeners got the information just as how we received it as well. So thank you for the effort, the time. Every Tuesday, you do it for us. So I just want to say thank you.
You're most welcome. Have a great day, everyone.
What she said.
Bye-bye.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
At Dental Beginnings, where it all begins with your smile, we provide quality dental care, catering to the needs of the whole family, where gentleness is our specialty and attention to detail is paramount. We offer cleanings, fillings, crown and bridge, root canals, extractions, digital x-rays, and sealants. Dental Beginnings, located at Victoria Road, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Call us at 869-668-1955 or 869-465-1951. Email us at dentalbeginnings@gmail.com or visit our Facebook page. Dental Beginnings. It all begins with a smile.
Yeah, yeah. Meet me on the road.
Hey, that's the sound of Nado HD for Sugar Mass 2024. We've got Chris Freeman coming up next, and he'll be talking about the Chevening scholarships. And that is due to start at 9:15. So we await the arrival of Chris. Hey. So yeah, that was interesting.
Very interesting. Jamsta, I don't know. Are we back on airs yet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
as far as I know.
okay, because I was busy chatting up with the doctor. I saw something on the Antigua Newsroom page last night. I don't know if you... Okay. Okay, no problem. It says... I'm trying to locate it because I wrote it down. Should adults take responsibility for amplifying youth social media mistakes? And I say this to say there were 3 young ladies from the Antigua Girls High School. They did a dance to to music that is not good. That's all I'm gonna say, not good. Because for somebody else it's gonna be good music, but it's not good for most of society.
Okay.
So 2 of the 3 girls apologized. They were made to apologize because they did it in their uniform in their classroom.
No, like this song. This is the kind of song that I could see the kids dancing to a children's carnival. You know? Nado. You know, but yeah.
You just turned it into a whole different thing. So
yeah. So we are joined by Chris Freeman. And he's going to be talking about the Chevening scholarships.
He doesn't have a headset just yet.
Yes,
So
here we
it's
go.
getting there.
Chris, what's up?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Okay. So you're here to tell us about the Chevening scholarships. And just like the listeners, we don't know anything about that. So your hosts plus the listeners, we wait in rapt attention to find out what the Chevening scholarships are all about.
Okay, so a pleasant good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Pleasant good morning to the listening public. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm a Chevener. The Chevening Scholarship is a prestigious international awards scheme aimed at developing global leaders. Okay. It is funded by the UK government through the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, and its partner organization.
Because I was just going to ask, how did St. Kitts get into it? But once you said Commonwealth, I instantly linked the two.
Yes.
And sorry for butchering the name. I thought, I saw it in writing. I was saying Chevening, but it's Chevening. So, I stand corrected.
My name begins with a C as well, Quios, and I get a lot of mispronouncements.
No one says Christus, so come on, don't try that.
But most persons don't get Chevening on the first one.
Okay.
So how does one get a Chevening scholarship?
So the eligibility criteria is that you have to be a citizen of one of the Chevening eligibility countries.
Okay.
Luckily for us,
a citizen by birth or a citizen?
It just says citizen.
Oh, just citizen. Okay. Just making sure for somebody else who's a citizen that might be listening and eligible. Yes. Okay.
You have to agree to return to your country for at least 2 years. Yes, for at least 2 years. But there are ways to beat that. There are people who, if you're a consultant doing work, your company is based in St. Kitts and you do work around the world.
Oh, okay.
Because the scholarship is aimed at developing world leaders, change makers.
Okay.
You would have had to have completed an undergraduate degree. So the scholarship is for a master's program.
Okay.
A 1 year master's program.
1 year?
Yes.
Wow.
And you would have had to have worked for 2 years.
Previously?
Yes, before you are able to qualify for the scholarship.
Okay, so you
they put it in hours. You must have completed 2,800 hours of work.
Why is work... What does work have to do with you continuing your studies?
I think there are different criteria for different scholarships. For example, I know the Moroccan scholarship that they the government is involved with here, you have to have finished your last set of schooling within the last 2 years. So your certificates can't be more than 2 years old.
Wow.
I imagine that is aimed at having young students.
Continue their
All right?
studies.
Yes.
Okay.
This one, it's saying you must have had 2
Some
years
work
of
experience.
work.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It helps with your level of maturity and so on. When you go to school, you're going to a foreign country. So you do your undergrad, you take a break. That 2 years could have come before you
Okay.
went and do your undergraduate studies.
Okay.
So,
All
so
right.
that's eligibility.
Okay.
And the scholarship covers any area. Any area. When you apply, you must apply to at least 3 different eligible UK university courses.
Oh, I thought it was maybe just one university. I thought the university was named after the scholarship.
No.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's a general, and you can study at any eligible university.
And any program you wish to study.
Yes.
Okay.
Any program.
But you would have to have the undergraduate degree in that particular program?
No.
Okay. Just to clear it up for
So
someone.
it is whatever you get accepted for. I mean, there are some programs. The foundation program doesn't have to be. There are some LLMs, masters in law. You don't necessarily have to have studied law before.
Okay.
But once your course of study would help you to apply yourself in that area of study, you
Okay.
can apply for a master's in law, although you did economics before or
Okay.
chemistry before.
Okay. Fair
Yes.
enough. Okay.
So those are you have to be a citizen of one of the countries. You have to be willing to return to that country for at least 2 years. You have to have an undergraduate degree. You must have worked 2,800 hours, equivalent to about 2 years. And you have to apply to at least 3 UK universities.
Okay. What about age?
It doesn't matter.
So there's no cutoff for you applying for this?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't
fair enough.
matter. There have been twins who have gotten the scholarship in the same year. There have been mother and child who have gotten the scholarship. Yes. Our grouping is under, because we have the embassy that serves our region is in Barbados.
Yes.
So the number of scholarships that we get varies, and we are joined with Barbados and the OECS. the
So how
Eastern
many
Caribbean.
scholarships is available to the Federation this year?
So you don't get a set figure. It varies from year to year.
'Cause I was
Sometimes, and it's not just St. Kitts, as I said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's 16, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 5. It depends on the budget in the UK for that particular year. It can fluctuate up and down.
Okay, because I was reading an article when I went to look on what was going on. I see Jamaica already had 13 persons that are
Yes,
eligible.
Jamaica would get far more than us
Okay.
as an individual country because of its population.
Okay.
And then, of course, we are joined with. You've had, I think in my year, it was I alone. And unfortunately, for the past 3 years or so, 2 years, we have not had anyone from St. Kitts being chosen.
Is it because it is not known, or we don't have anyone that is interested in
There
further
are,
their studies?
there are people applying. Unfortunately, no one has qualified.
Wow.
Sometimes you don't know exactly. But as we get down into the process of the application, it might shed some light on why maybe individuals are not qualifying. But I was saying that in my year, 2017 to 2018, I think St. Lucia had about 5 or 6. Yes.
Wow. So what is do you know the maximum students you would have had from the federation that would have qualified for this particular scholarship?
And I take
One
it
year.
you're a Chevening scholar.
Yeah.
Yes,
He's
I
an
am.
alumni,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, from 2017, 2018. I don't think we've done more than two at a time.
Okay. How rigorous is this process? I know it's a big part. Then you have to do your interviews. Then you
Yes.
get
From what we're told, sometimes maybe about 60+ thousand people around the world qualify. I mean, apply.
Apply.
Yes. And
The
then
pot
there's-
boils down to 6,000.
There's a
Because I did a little
shortlisting.
research, and then it
Yes.
ends up down to 1,700.
Yes.
My cousin is an alumni in the UK right now from the BVI.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a really rigorous process. This scholarship has turned out world leaders, ministers of government, people in journalism. Right here in St. Kitts, Gian Williams, who is the registrar at Intellectual Property.
Yeah.
Hazel,
Brandy.
who
I
was
saw that.
in Parliament
NRP,
in Nevis.
Nevis, so Miss
She
Body.
was Miss Sonia Body,
Yeah.
one of our prime diplomats. She was a scholar as well. The current director of planning in Nevis, he was a scholar. He did his undergraduate in Cuba, and then he qualified and got a scholarship. Augustine Merchant, he's one of probably our eldest.
That went to do
scholar.
the-
Yes,
okay.
I think he went to the University of Reading way back. He's from Nevis.
Okay.
The current chair of the Bar Association, Curlin Merchant, she's a Chevening scholar. She is the daughter of Augustine Merchant.
Okay.
So they got the scholarship some lot of years apart.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would people go about applying?
So I that's one thing I missed, but you can just search for the Chevening application.
Okay, online?
There is a website that you apply to online. Application opens yearly from August, and the first week in August it closes in November. So
When in November day?
the first week in November
Okay.
as well.
Okay.
So it fluctuates around about the 5th, 6th,
Okay.
somewhere there. So it's still open. You still can begin your process and end by time.
So people, the spelling is Chevening.
Yes.
Chevening. So I guess you could probably search for Chevening scholarships, right? And that
Yes.
should probably give you a hit.
So it's chevening.org. Chevening.org.
Do they have a list of the British schools, or
You would find everything.
Oh,
there.
everything on
Yes,
the
yes.
website. Okay.
Yes. And it's any UK school. I have to
Any
stress
UK
that.
school.
Any
Okay.
UK school.
All right.
There is no age criteria. You can be up to 100 years. As I've told you, you had twins who've gone at the same time. You've had parents.
And you just talk about the
parent and
merchants.
child,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you know of any applicants that the Federation would have had this year? I don't know if I asked you that question already.
I know of one in particular.
Okay.
And so we have an alumni association that has been led by Sonia Body for the last few years, has done sterling work in keeping us together and keeping us engaged and involved. We try to assist individuals because I think the most important part of the application process, it is 4 500-word essays that you have to write.
4?
Yes. One on leadership and influence. Describe how you have demonstrated leadership and influence decision-making in your career or community. There is one on networking. Provide examples of your networking skills, how you maintain relationships, and how you build new connections.
Wow.
Study in the UK. Explain why you have chosen the UK as a study destination and how the chosen courses will benefit your career goals and then your career plan.
Because I was just going to say, you say we have to come back for 2 years, right?
Yes.
I'm going to say we to include everybody in the federation. So you also have to speak on that. Like, what are you going to come back and contribute to the country?
Yes. Your
Okay.
career plan, outline your future career plans and how studying in the UK and returning to your home country will help achieve these goals.
Okay. Fair
Right?
enough.
The university choices, you will be asked to choose up to 3 master's courses in your application. You do not need to secure administration at this stage. You just make sure you apply.
I don't think I get that clearly, and I know somebody else probably struggling the same way. You said you have to pick 3 universities, right?
Yeah. So when you're applying,
Uh-huh.
you have to have, at that point, applied to 3 universities.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to, at that stage, be accepted to the
Okay.
universities.
Okay.
But that be triggers.
Also,
the
you're
process
saying
for
you can't apply for a Chevening scholarship alone. You would have had to have been
Yes.
sent applications elsewhere.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So the scholarship is just, they're going to provide the funding for you.
Oh, okay.
But you have to independently apply to
Okay.
the universities. They don't help you to apply to these universities.
Is it a
You
full
do that.
scholarship or is it just a partial?
Full scholarship.
Okay, all right.
Full scholarship.
And that includes
you
accommodation.
get your tuition fees.
Uh-huh.
You get a monthly stipend. You get travel costs
You
to
don't
and from
say.
the UK. You get an arrival allowance. You get a departure allowance, and the cost of your visa application.
Cool.
I studied in London. The allowance in London is more than the rest of.
I think I saw that. London is
the country because of the
The
Cost of
higher
living.
cost of living.
cost
yeah.
of living,
Yeah.
and it's anywhere in the UK. So it includes England, Wales, Scotland. Yes.
okay.
All right.
So you got well, I guess you got your underground stuff separate, or they just give you transportation money that you would use for the
yeah,
subway?
the stipend that you get is
okay.
sufficient to
To
cover,
cover
your
all
rent, to cover your food, to cover.
Cool.
There were people who they encourage you to travel throughout the UK. There were about 2 or 3 events that they have while you're there. You're
Culture.
also encouraged to go to these events. There are courses that even when you study are organized, and the scholarship will fund those, your travel to and from some of these events when they are not in the part of the UK that you are studying.
Very nice.
Documents required, you're going to need your passport or national ID, your university transcripts, 2 reference letters, and proof of work experience. It just so happened when I applied, I was at law school at the time, and it was Gian Williams who encouraged me to apply. We went to CFBC together. We won the business award together. She then went to UWI. I then went to UWI. She went to study law. She was a state scholar. I did economics, and I went back to study law. And for some years, she told me, Chris, you have to apply for this master's. You have to apply for this master's. I applied. We actually went to the same school in London, the Queen Mary University of London. So I want to tip my hat off to Gian. And we continue to encourage students to apply. It was months ago that this particular individual reached out to me wanting to apply. I think that she has an interesting area of study because it's in elderly care, right? And it's all, there are policemen who apply. There are people in journalism. There is all areas of study you can think about. You don't know what will pique their interest in a particular year. So if you think you want to do it, it's provided by a university in the UK, you should apply. One of the key things is that there is no government involvement whatsoever.
Okay.
There is no government involvement whatsoever, right? I was saying that when I was at law school in Jamaica, my civil practice lecturer was actually a Chevening scholar. And I think I was doing particularly well in that course. So she was one of my references. So I think that might have stood out for me. That here it was connecting with a Chevener in Jamaica. And there is an alumni network website
But how
app that you can stay in touch with scholars after you're done.
interesting? Okay.
I want to know, you're in law school. Were you nearing the end of your degree when you decided to apply for the Chevening scholarship?
Yes,
Okay.
I was in
Okay.
I was in second year of 2 years when
Okay.
I applied. So I actually, through the application process, I was accepted late. So I
Okay.
was shortlisted, and then there were people who drop out, who can't make it. That was my lot that I got, and I was home, already settled, completed 5 years of studies. I actually had gone to meet the then director of public prosecutions, because that is where I was assigned to go to work. I think the day before or the same morning, very early, the UK is ahead of our time.
Yeah,
I received the email saying that you've been successful with the scholarship. So when I went to meet the DPP, I told him that, I had been accepted. I just got word. And he encouraged me. He said, if it is up to me, we will hold this spot for you when you get back. But this is an opportunity that you can't give up.
Did you, at the time, did you know that your professor was a Chevening? How did you find out that she was a Chevening scholar?
I can't remember exactly how it came
Or is
up.
it?
I
Because
can't
you
remember
said
exactly
you got
how I
as a
found it.
reference, so
Yes.
yeah, so that was good actually.
Yeah, divine intervention, you say, right? Everything worked out for the good.
I think maybe I might have looked her up on LinkedIn or something like that.
Oh, and then saw her name
and
said,
saw that she was a Chevener.
Okay,
Yes.
good stuff.
I think that is one of the things that helped me. And so the no government involvement, you apply independent of the government. There are a lot of scholarships, the Taiwan scholarship, the Moroccan scholarship, Cuban
Government's
scholarship.
involved.
These go through the government. Even, I don't know if it stopped, but the Commonwealth scholarship also went through the government. There is no government deciding what the important areas of study and profession in St. Kitts. You apply, and you are
Okay.
Through.
go
So
on your own.
for someone that's listening now and is interested and would like to contact the local Chevening alumni for help, how do they get in contact with you?
You can look us up. We're on Facebook, so it's just search Chevening St. Kitts alumni, St. Kitts Nevis alumni. You'll find us.
Okay.
Sonia Badi, Jihan Williams, Krios, one of our top engineers at Skelec is also Kenrod Roberts. He's a Chevener as well. There is even, I can't remember his name now, but there's a Chevener from St. Lucia who's now been living in St. Kitts for quite a few years, involved with CARICOM and international trade. I think he worked for the office that serves our businesses up on Burton Street there, close to TechVac. Yeah.
Okay.
And he sits with us, helps. So we help you with your applications. We help you to edit. We've had a vast experience, vast number of individuals who have gotten the scholarship with different experiences, different areas, so we can help you to edit. The process, so you have to prepare your application, the online application submission, as I said, the four essays that you have to write, the documents, I outlined that before.
You want to repeat the documents once more for somebody who maybe just joined in and don't know what documents you may need to
So
secure
the
the
essay,
scholarship.
the essay, leadership and influence, networking, studying in the UK, career plan. The documents, you'll have to have your passport or national ID, all your university transcripts, 2 reference letters, and proof of work experience.
And of course, they can find all this at chevening.org, right?
Yes,
Okay.
chevening.org. Once admitted, your application will go through an initial review by Chevening panel. Only shortlisted applicants will be contacted for the next stage, which is an interview once you're shortlisted. And you can reapply.
I was just going to ask.
10,000 times.
I was just going to ask
You're not
if you have met
disqualified.
somebody who would have applied until they have finally got to where they wanted.
Who've applied 4 times and then get through.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you don't have to stop. You are notified of the interview. The interview is competency based and will focus on your personal and professional aspirations, leadership, the things that you write your essays on.
Okay.
You will need to bring the documents you submitted in your application, such as transcripts, references, and work experience records. So before, I think in Jian's time, you had to go to Barbados for your interview. When I was at school, when I applied, by that time, they recognized how burdensome that might be. So you were able to do your interview online. And after COVID, I don't think that
online now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's you get everything. I was in London. I was very comfortable. I just asked my bank to, put off my loan payment for that year. Then when I got there, I realized the amount of monies that I was getting. I could send back home a little change.
Nice. Wise choice. Wise choice.
It's very helpful. You don't have to worry once you get the scholarship. My tuition was £19,500, right, for the year. That's times 3.62 or thereabout.
Yeah.
I often say jokingly that, I don't know how much I can partake in the conversations about reparations, because I think possibly that
your payment
was my portion.
Okay.
The ability,
Fair enough.
to have gone to this prestigious school, which I would not have been able to afford
on your own,
and to be comfortable there. I was able to pay for accommodations off campus. Of course, if you qualify, if you get on campus, that's cheaper for you, because mine was a late admission to the scholarship. I stayed off campus and was able to afford that comfortably.
Okay.
You're encouraged to see Europe while you're there. I did not. I did some marathon work, some charitable.
Come on, man!
When I got
go
there,
to Paris.
There, honestly, the 2 friends that I really made, one was Ghanaian, one was Nigerian, and they were Christian guys, not into partying and so on. And one of them needed my assistance financially, and I was able to help him because he had taken all his savings, came to the program, and then an individual who should have helped him with accommodation that didn't last more than 2 weeks. So I was able to assist there, and so I didn't travel while I was there.
So have you since been to Nigeria, any of those countries?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, I like that. Not yet.
There's a plan to travel to Ghana first, at least, and just on the weekend, I saw my Nigerian classmate. He was celebrating a family member of his who got a degree in nursing from the 5 Islands UWI
in
campus
Antigua.
in Antigua.
Nice. So congrats to that
small
family
world.
member. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yep. So I would encourage individuals. There is still time. They still can reach out to the local alumni. We can
on Facebook,
assist.
as you said.
Yes. Krios, Jean, Sonia, Curlin Merchant in Nevis, Augustine Merchant, Raoul Pemberton. He's the one.
Hazel Brandy.
Hazel Brandy. Any one of us. There's Vandes Phipps, who resides in the UK. He's a Chevening scholar as well. And we are down to, once you're shortlisted, we have done sessions where we actually do the interviews.
Prepare you.
Sessions for you
online,
okay, so that you're comfortable.
Okay.
You kind of get a gist of the questions and so on.
So sort of like how the presidential candidates do the mock debates with somebody pretending to be the other.
Yes.
So they prepare them all.
Pretty
That's good.
interesting,
That's good. That's
And
good.
I've teamed up with my colleagues from around the OECS to provide that assistance to other scholars, even outside of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
Nice. Kudos to you.
Okay, great. So, folks, Chevening, let me say it right? Chevening.org. If you're interested in the Chevening scholarships, you can go there and find out all you need to know about getting that off the ground. And we want to say thank you to Chris Freeman for coming by.
Thank you for accommodating me. Thank
absolutely.
you for accommodating us.
It's very interesting.
Indeed.
Very interesting stuff, yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, great.
I want to talk to my cousin.
Found the sound 98.9.
Oh, I've got this feeling to high five the sun, dance in the rain, and have my scoop of fun. I'm on my way to flavor my day with something new, and I've got room for you. Let loose and live a little, get close and share a little, give in and taste a little. You'll fall in love with creamery novelties of life, and live a little, get close and share a little, give in and taste a little. You'll fall in love with creamery novelties.
Enjoy Creamy Novelties Ice Cream, distributed by Rams Trading. Live a little.
Hey kids, drink healthy.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking, football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
And we are back. It's 9:47. That was very interesting.
Certainly
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
As I said, I have a cousin that's just waiting to graduate, so he's an alumni. He did the scholarship. Originally, he's from Guyana, but he grew up in the BVI, and he is excelled tremendously. He studied in the U.S. and now he got the scholarship at Chevening. I think it was him and another individual from the BVI that got it. So he's completed his studies, just waiting to graduate. I wish I could have gone for his graduation. Yeah, I gotta celebrate my cousin, Gotta celebrate my cousin and all his achievements. Yeah, I gotta celebrate family, man.
I would say I would like to visit the UK,
You've never been?
No, you?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
I like it for vacation.
Yeah.
And I even took the opportunity to go over to Wee Paris. Oh, yeah.
On the you
No,
took the
I
tunnel?
flew.
Oh, you flew?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're afraid?
No, I'm not afraid of the tunnel. I
Oh.
should have taken the tunnel experience because I don't know when I'm going to get that experience again.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe in the future. But nah, every time I went, I flew. Yeah.
So what's Paris like?
I don't know. To me, it's overrated. Everybody, yeah. To me,
Okay.
I guess because I'm just laid back. Nothing really bothers me. I'm just like, oh yeah, I was there. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So
Because
did
I don't
you-
really take pictures like that. My memory serves as my picture.
Did you get like a good Parisian breakfast? Lunch?
Yeah, I did, and I
Yeah.
got dinner, and yeah.
So
and I
what'd
even
you have for breakfast?
Nice
croissant. With,
that with
French
some
butter and.
I had French bread too, and I had a nice what do you call it? One a little chunky coffee, the strong ones,
Oh,
cappuccino,
espresso.
espresso.
Oh,
yeah,
nice, right?
yeah, and I even ate on the what do you call it? Oh, the pavement.
Yes,
I had
those
the whole works, and I had
sidewalk
the egg that wasn't
cafes.
fully cooked, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I gotta eat it. But yeah,
That's good stuff.
yeah, no, good stuff. No, because I gotta cut it, and then it leaked, and I'm like, oh,
I like that.
No,
What do you call that again? I forgot what you.
What's
I forgot the name that you.
Is it Benedict?
Yeah, it's
Oh
Benedict. I
gosh,
think.
yeah. No, yeah. And then I had a nice steak. It was stew beef lunch, but beef wasn't fully cooked. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
like so.
But that's how they
medium rare.
eat it.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Boy,
Mm.
I was like, yeah, the
Any-
experience is good.
Yeah, the pastries.
Plenty, yeah,
Yeah.
plenty.
Mhm.
Even when we go to Guadeloupe or Martinique, when we flew, we normally used to ask someone to like buy us the pastry and we refurbish them. Just like when we fly into St. Lucia, we wanted the roast bake and the
Mhm.
sawfish too. The same thing. We
The
did,
roast
yeah.
what?
Roast bake and sawfish. There's a Dominican.
Roast bake?
There's a
What's a
Dominican
roast
eatery
bake?
that just opened where Neville used to be.
Uh-huh.
You should go and try
What's
the
a
roast
roast
bake.
bake?
So it looks like a English muffin, but it's not really an English muffin. You get it in St. Lucia. You get it in Dominica. Yes,
What's
it's a bake.
And
It's
what-
white.
And what did they put in it?
Sawfish, whatever you want to put in it.
Mm.
Eggs, but mostly sawfish. Fish, anything fish, mackerel. Yeah, it goes best with that. Because, bake goes nice with sawfish or mackerel.
But
yeah.
roast bake. that
Roast bake,
sounds-
yeah. So you can find it just across from the Best Buy up in the Limekeel area. Because a Dominican
in
lady just
here?
opened an eatery. Yeah. So that's why I tell you, you can find the roast bake up there. You didn't see? There was something.
Oh, you mean so your village walk? Food
No, not
court up there.
not Village Walk. No, you're going too far. You know where Neville was?
Yeah.
Chicken and chips?
So you mean Neville isn't there now?
No, somebody just opened a food place in there.
The same
The person's
same
from
people?
Dominica.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have
so
to try that.
Yeah,
then.
she has roast bakes.
How much those cost?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it and I said I need to go because
Okay.
I miss having
Oh,
roast
absolutely.
bakes. Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm
Have to go
hoping.
try that.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that she has a Dominican dish I like, which is Sancoch. So it's provision in coconut milk with salt beef and
Lord, please stop.
smoked meat. Yeah.
Stop.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen. I don't listen. I
Wait, I suddenly can't hear you. Wait.
I think really.
Go ahead.
I think Caribbean food is so underrated. I mean, I know people like it, but I mean,
Wait,
I
I'm
always
having
feel
I'm having
Mhm.
trouble hearing you. My headset decided no longer wants to work.
So I feel like Caribbean food is underrated in the sense that
Hold on.
we yeah. Is that better? No? Wow. Okay. How's that now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
So no, I'm saying I think Caribbean food is underrated in the sense that we don't respect it the way we would respect, say, even KFC or Chinese food.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I should be able to go into a restaurant.
Do you think price is a difference?
No, I think it's a matter of familiarity breeds contempt.
Okay.
So like, I feel like I should be able to go into a restaurant and get the full, let's say the full blue ribbon treatment with Caribbean food. Like, why can't I go in a restaurant and have dumpling and saltfish, and have this snooty waiter and everything? And no, I'm serious. I'm with the tails, the waiter wearing tails and all that stuff. Just the same, treat it the same way we treat the cuisines of other countries.
Yeah.
Because
that's why I said maybe sometimes it's the establishment, because when we work for certain establishments, we have to conform to their standards, right?
Mhm.
So we only keep the standards there, and then we don't carry it over anywhere else.
That's true.
Yeah. So maybe it's something that we need to learn. That, as you said, this the bells and whistles shouldn't be for just one particular genre or culture. It should apply to all and everything.
Imagine we tokenize our own cuisine in the Caribbean, meaning you say, for example, you go to say you go to the Marriott and it's easy to get a burger and all this other stuff, right? Which is fine, but you find that it only be like a special day where they have things like fried plantains and maybe they have say conch fritters and stuff that's us, and it's sort of ghettoized and tokenized where they just have it one on the menu. Where to me, I feel like the foreigners want to try our stuff.
Yeah, and that's why we should promote, and that's why I think even with the hotels with the standards, we should have the local things on there. Give them the opportunity to taste it. And for the waiter and waitresses, this is what you should push on them.
Yes.
And thereafter you relate to them something that's familiar, like a burger, this pasta, that pasta, whatever. But push our local stuff. But we, as you rightfully
and not
say,
just for special occasions or it's independent.
We minimize.
So we have. I mean, it should be there all the time.
Yeah,
Cook
just like how they want to
whatever.
hear us talk our local lingo too, because they came to hear the language. That's why they go to Jamaica and these places.
Exactly.
Because they want to hear yeah man and all of that. We should do the same thing here.
And I mean, I know. I feel like even the people who want their comfort food, where they want to go downtown and get Domino's or Burger King, they also would want to try. They want to try our stuff, you know. So
we have to first be proud of what we have to offer, and as I say it all the time, we really have to consider country above ourselves. Because this is what our country has. Let us offer what our country has. Yeah.
I mean, even things like even the kind of, you could say, the kind of fusion of cultures where you can have soursop ice cream, coconut ice cream, all the flavors that you wouldn't necessarily get in those bigger countries. You know, I mean,
we have people like ice cream.
I've seen sweet potato ice cream. I was like, really?
That make ice cream, and I mean the establishment here
ginger ice cream,
exactly should try to get these local people. I had lemongrass ice cream.
Yeah,
and it was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they can get it in their establishment, and they'll see how much more people will gravitate to the island.
Exactly,
it's like
because
I went to the Park Hyatt, and I'm not saying they don't have it, so people don't come for me. And they had this, you know, and you know, it's gonna boost. It's gonna boost. People are gonna want to come just to taste lemongrass or ginger ice cream or whatever. Because this is not something they're accustomed to.
Yeah, because I know ice cream, but hey, I mean,
what is this?
It's a fruit
and in a soft serve
passion
type
fruit.
of way.
Yes, passion fruit, guava.
Sorbets. Look, we have the products, but do we have the mentality? And as somebody mentioned earlier, I want to think is you. We follow suit. So I see Jamsa wear or I see Jamsa buy this type of car, this type of vehicle, I buy mine too.
Yeah.
Or I see Jamsa in the shoes, I buy mine too. So I don't think like I could buy a different brand and look just as good as Jamsa in that brand. Or I could build this thing, but it's like we wait to see what you're doing to decide to follow suit.
I don't understand that.
So we have to think outside the box.
Outside the box.
Produce more.
Someone
support our locals.
I agree, guys. When I come home, I miss the food. So
when I go Miami and them places, I go and look for fancy loaf. You know, I want local food. I might integrate or mix a little Wendy's or McDonald's here and there, but I gonna look for where I
let me tell you, right? When I was in school, when I lived in Toronto, there was, oh my God, there was a place, there was a plaza in the community where we lived. You know, typical a bank, and they had a Jamaican bakery, and they used to sell some jerk pork, right? Oh my God!
Look at you.
And it was so you buy it by the pound, so you buy a half pound, a pound, whatever, 2 pounds. So sometimes I go home early and I just walk across, and I walk across the, you know, and I buy like maybe a half pound with all the gravy. Oh my God! And I just go home. They used to have this bread. So these rolls, like this Jamaican, man, telling
my favorite. And when we go to New York, my husband must get Golden Crust. That's the Jamaican oxtail
Oh.
chain in the U.S.
Oh, it's a chain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You should bring one here.
Do you see how the Jamaicans go and get their food plastered almost all over the states in the in the U.S.? Where's our food? Just in Miami? Where else? We might have a little eatery in New York. What are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Where's our confidence to do just exactly what Mr. Golden Cross and Mr. Juicy Patty and Mr. What's the other? Tasty Juicy?
Yeah, I told
what
someone.
What are we doing?
I told someone we have Jamaican patties. Why doesn't somebody try and do why can't we have a Kitishan patty? I mean, and we say, okay, let's do a mutton patty, a curried mutton patty or something. Let's do something. And see what happens.
Yeah, no.
You know?
We don't have the insight, man.
You know?
Don't get me, folks. I'm just saying. I'm trying to encourage us to do something good. Yeah. What are we synonymous for?
I don't know.
Oh boy.
It used to be sugar, but not now.
Yeah, no, we don't have sugar anymore.
No.
So maybe just tourism and local products. Well, guava cheese. You see guava cheese.
Is that you know? Is that something they do in Guyana, or is it just St. Kitts?
I think they do it. I think they do it in Ghana. Yeah.
Guava cheese.
I don't remember it as a kid doing it, but I think they do
call
it
the same thing.
Yeah, guava cheese
Guava
straight
cheese.
across. Trinidad does it. So, but tamarind balls maybe I don't know. What's
tamarind balls is a Trinidad thing, I think.
GT2. We put pepper in our tamarind balls.
Yeah, I like those. God, yeah, I love those, and I like those things with the green mango chutney, the balls with the green mango and pepper and.
Oh, I mean what they call them red mango. So the Trinidadians dye them and then they put on the salt and pepper and they have them in the bag. It's sweet mangoes.
I like that.
Yeah, for real though.
You
know, when I first moved to St. Kitts, I don't know how many people realize I don't see jawbreakers. I don't see that anymore. Bag drink don't look the same nor taste the same. I tried it twice to see if I'll get that same school taste. I remember buying the popcorns in the locally made popcorn in the plastic bag still exists. I miss Miss Allen for her suckers walking home from school.
You know
a lot of things don't exist anymore.
Miss Allen?
What? I know about Miss Allie walking through that Market Street alley to get home to Greenlands. I thank you.
What?
Listen, I miss certain things.
What you know about Miss Allen?
I miss the Bryson in the bottle, like when I moved here from Guyana. The orange Fanta in the glass bottle. Yes, I know a lot about Miss Allen. I just miss the old aspects of St. Kitts that I don't see around anymore. Can somebody tell me where I can get jawbreakers from? Although I shouldn't have them. But
what you know about Miss Allen?
Oh, I know a lot about Miss Allen. Though she used to have getting all of our school monies when the afternoon come, because everybody crowd around Miss Allen to get our popcorn and our sucker.
There's something else she used
Job
to
won't
make.
break everything.
No, before. Oh God, what was it again? Oh my God, I can't remember what it was.
Yes, Miss Allen there sitting down
is
in her
this
white
pastry
shirt
thing
and
she used to make?
Glasses and
right?
Yeah, and a cap. Yeah, good old Miss Allen. May her soul rest in. Is she still around?
I don't know.
On, right?
I thought.
Let me not
I
send her
when
on
I
just yet.
When I left, when I left, she was still alive. And
yeah,
yeah.
Because she was still alive and kicking while I was in high school.
I used to borrow books from her daughter.
Oh, okay, okay.
I used to go on.
Yeah.
You have any books?
Yeah, I remember a long time ago we used to share books, our
you have any
Goosebumps books, and we used to go to library. Even the library isn't even in style now. I just wish I could have kept some things that I could have shared with this generation and the future generation, because a lot of these things, everything's fast now.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I remember there's this lady that used to sell sugar cake in Market Street, right? Sometimes you go there and the sugar cake just came off the stove.
Yeah, say hot.
And you can get it in a coconut shell.
Yeah.
Oh my
I've
God.
heard of that. Yeah, I miss the aspects of St. Kitts that I came and met, even market. Like as a young teenager, I used to go to the market and pick up stuff with my little plastic basket. You know, the plastic baskets that were in style. They had white, green. Even that. I just miss those things. I don't see them happening as much anymore.
Yeah.
I go to the market.
Buying a pass of tamarind.
Yeah, nothing happened. Everything just different now. It's like everything's just fast.
One time during COVID, we went for a walk. It was when I think a period was they had just lifted the thing, so we went walking and we went across the street from where we live. You know, the tamarind tree up there in Kidstarter. And we got a whole set of tamarind. Another time we went walking, around, went up by the Kim Collins Highway,
Mhm.
and we saw this guy going home there just by the roundabout. And he had this huge bag. So we said, where you got all this tamarind? He said, down there by the factory. I said, really?
Yeah, the trees.
And he gave us a handful, but I mean, he got enough tamarind to fill
Yeah.
a whole
Nobody
bag,
giving nobody anything these days. I remember us even taking cardboard boxes and going behind what is now TechVoc and sliding down that hill into the gardens playing.
Yeah, we used to do that in the park.
Listen, I don't think children have as much fun as we did. Or I don't know. Maybe they just look around and take things for granted. They just run around. I don't know. I don't know what the children do, but
we used to do that in the park before they before they ruined it.
Yeah, the good old days. But I just wish some things would come back, and so let's be synonymous for something. Yeah.
Well said. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta shut it down. It's
We should.
This was nice.
Yeah.
So,
Reminiscing on old days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you to our
Okay.
guests. Thanks, Doc. Thank you to Krios Freeman and Jamsa. It's always a pleasure. No, not tomorrow.
Likewise.
No.
Yeah, that was a trick question.
I know, because I think you knew.
I knew.
You
I
just
I just want to hear what you were gonna say.
You got me. You got me. Folks, have a good day. Thank you for tuning in.